friends and family, it's been a minute and a half. Okay, so I'm about to do my cornrow tree braids. I'm about to do my cornrow tree braids again. I haven't done them in forever, and I know you guys liked my very first video that I posted about it many years ago. I have a slightly different method that I'm going to use this time, and I learned it from a certain YouTuber, and I will link below how she did it. So that's how I'm going to do it this time. Now I am going to use this brand of Water Wave hair, and it looks like this out of the packet. So this is a little bit shorter. I'm looking for not an afro, but you know, like slightly bigger hair kind of thing. I'm not looking for it to last a long time. I don't think the quality of these hair pieces is exactly what will last a long time without looking matted. However, I have it in my stuff and I just need to use it and get rid of it, okay? So this is how I'm using it. So I'm going to show you exactly how I part my hair and the style that I'm going to use. It's going to be friendly for folks with edges like this, basically 0 edges. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to part it, but before that I also want to show you how I divide up this hair. Okay, from the way that that YouTuber did it, I want to make sure that you guys see it, and also give me feedback on what you think about that versus how I did it before. I think this is more efficient. So the first thing that she did was she, you know, of course you prep your hair. If I was using my previous method that I did, I'd have left it like this, did my braids, you know, started the cornrow and be pulling out, you know, pieces of this hair as I go down. But the way she did it, of course, is different. So she cut the hair in two like this, and then she proceeded to start the cornrow with it like this. And I think that's brilliant. So you have the length that you need instead of using the looped one. Now with this kind of hair piece, it's really, really frizz prone. Like, you have to be careful when you're separating it, otherwise you'll get very frizzy hair like this, which is no good. Okay, so what I learned is you want to stretch it a little bit, start to divide it more at the bottom, right? And it's sort of slightly twisted together, so you slightly untwist it and then you pull it at the top and at the bottom. If you pull it that way, there's less frizz at the bottom. There's more frizz at the top, which I don't care because it's going to be in the braid, right? So I really don't care about the frizz at the top. It's a frizz at the bottom that I'm trying to minimize. So compare the frizz at the bottom to the frizz at the top. You see that? So that's why I separated that way. I learned it the hard way. I don't want to miss a lot of hair because it's all frizzy and I can't use it. So that's how I'm separating it. I'll do it one more time. I don't want the hair to be too big. So I am making, especially the edge one, I like it to be slightly thin and wispy. So I'm separating these into two for all of them. So stretch it out a little bit and get my fingers in between. It doesn't have to be equal size, of course. It doesn't really matter. I get the bottom. Here we go. And then I hold it taut and I separate the top. So here you go, more frizz at the top, no matter, the bottom is good. I'm going to make a bunch of these out here for the braid, for the first braid, so that I don't get to a point in the middle of my braid where I don't have enough hair. Yeesh. I can't stand it when that happens, because then you have to stop braiding, your braid starts to unravel, and you have to make more hair available. So we're not trying to do that. Not today. All right, all right, all right. I'm not sure how many I'll need. I'm not trying to make them too thin either, because I want some body and good volume, good body. Yes, baby. So here we go. And I have these everywhere, guys, everywhere, because I don't want to run out while I'm braiding. Okay, so I'm going to first go this way. I'm gonna have 3 sections, right? What I'm planning on doing is use one bundle for each. So one bundle here, one bundle on this side, and then the remaining 2 bundles will be for the top. That's my plan, because I want to make sure this thing is enough to see. Because so I'm going to use my Carol's Daughter, what is this, Minoe something of the sort. I can't see without my glasses, I'm sorry. So I will write it in there if I remember. If I don't, whoever is interested in it, just let me know. So this is a good, some kind of leave-in milk / moisturizer situation. I have a ton of gray hairs now, guys. A ton. But that's to be expected for my lovely age. I'm not going to be very particular on the part, really, because I feel like it's going to be covered. So I'm not going to be anal about it. I'm hoping not to be anal about it, but sometimes I just am, because that's just how I am. Okay. All right. So now that I have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to part the front, I'm going to leave out this much of hair right here, and I'll tell you exactly what I'll do with it. Okay. And then I'll start my braid coming down this way and going back. I'm trying not to pull directly from the front to the back, because that's how I lost my edges, by pulling from front to back. So I'm going to start my braid this way. The question is, I'm trying not to pull any of this at all into the braid. So I'm going to leave just, it's a little bit of it that I'm leaving out, not a whole lot, but I will show you exactly what I'll do after the braid. I'm going to use a crochet to hook pieces of the hair and put it under the braid through, right? So it'll still go back, but it won't be held in a braid. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but you'll see it later. And then I'll start my braid from here. I'm not touching any of the hair here at all, okay? So I'll show you guys, but I want to make sure as much of this as possible is out of my braid, because I'm trying to grow it, and I'm doing a good job growing it, if I may say so myself. Okay. All right, so this is completely out of it. Look how I'm combing it with this tiny comb. It is amazing to me, these Carol's Daughter products. Okay, I think I'm going to need another hair clip. So over here, I also want to make sure I don't pull this hair too much. So I'm going to make it a little bit wider here, so I have more hair to grab. Okay. Again, we don't need to be neat in our line. We just need to have enough hair to hold. The other thing, if you wear glasses, you want the hair to be braided a little higher up, because you need space for your glasses to go behind your ear. I find it very annoying when I braid my hair and I braid it so close to my ear that my glasses don't fit there. So annoying. If you don't wear glasses, you really don't know what I'm talking about, so it's okay. Don't worry about it. Oh, all right. So I'm done here. And I'm going to tie this so it stays out of my way. Right there. I need it completely out of my way. All right. So this is nice and moisturized, yes. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to use aloe vera gel to just kind of lay it flat a little bit. Again, I don't want my already dry, 4C hair, breaking 4C hair to be any drier than it needs to be. So I am not going to use regular holding gel. I just need this to be out of my way, sort of. You know what I mean? But I want to be out of my way in a healthy way, which you can't go wrong with aloe vera gel, in my opinion. What she would do is she would, after making it into 3 to start the braid, she would kind of hold some part of it like this. So I'll figure it out as I braid, but for me, here are my 3, right? Let's see. I hope I can show you. I really hope I can show you. This is really weird. It's really, really weird. So I'm going in like this. I hope you can see it. I feel like you can't because I'm looking at the camera and it's kind of weird. I'm going to tuck this in here so it doesn't go anywhere. Come on now. Okay. And then I'll start my braid. Not too tight. Again, I'm trying not to lose any more hair than I need to. So there, and I'm going to add hair. Oh. Her way of adding hair was weird to me. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to do it. When I look in the mirror, I get confused. So you're going to do it like you're doing the feed-in braids, of course. Put this back here. Do 1 and 2. Take another piece. I hold it like this and I feed it in. The test after this is to try and pull one of the strands out and see if it'll come out or not. Right? 1 and 2. Because if it comes out, I'm gonna have to go back to my old method. Ain't nobody got time for this. 1 and 2. Okay, you better stay put. I don't have time for you. Do not have time for you. I'm putting this much of hair in the braid and leaving this much out. It's up to you, but I feel like I want to put enough in the braid so that it can't get pulled out easily. Ooh, did I braid some of you? Crap, I feel like I braided some of you. You know what? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I gotta go. I ain't got time. Ain't got time. This is why you want to have your hairs ready out here in these streets. Goodness. Looking in the mirror really makes it weird. Okay, good. I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping my edge hair out. Okay, so hold it here. Go. The braid is getting a little thicker than I want it to be, so which means I'm feeding too much. I'm putting too much of the hair in the braid. So I'm going to have to put less of the hair in the braid. Which is fine by me. Well, I didn't grab that. Okay, let's try this again. I also might need thinner hair pieces so that the braid isn't as thick. But I like so far what it's feeling like right now. I think I can afford to make the part within the braid shorter without having the issue where when I'm done and I pull it, it's actually going to come out. I think. Oh, I have stray hairs getting in my way. Okay, let's not. It's gonna be interesting. I'm seeing a lot of frizz already, more frizz than I want. It's gonna be really, really, I don't know. I don't know. What I will do when I'm done, if it's not thick enough for me, like voluminous enough, because I don't want it to be too voluminous, but if it's too thin, I will just go ahead and crochet some hair in. It's gonna be really simple, you know what I mean? It's not rocket science. I'll just do the usual crochet situation and just get my groove on that way. All right, I think I'm done feeding. I don't want to be feeding all the way to the last bit, so I'm gonna break this out. This is the part that I'm telling you that I'll put this in the next braid, so it's not hanging out there by itself, you know what I mean? I'll put it all the way in the next braid. So the test after this, to see if I put the right length of braid in here. When I say that, I mean the part that I put within the braid, the hair that I put in the braid. If I put the right length of hair in the braid, the test would be to just try to pull out the hair that I've just fed into the braid. So that's what I'm going to do right now. We're going to see if it's going to come out when I pull it. Yeah. All right. So this piece, where'd it go? This piece right here is going to go into the next braid. All right. This is my very, 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 very first time doing this. I'm slightly proud of myself, but not all the way. I think it's going to end up being okay. However, the proof is in the pudding. So this is the very first braid. Pull it. Oh, yes, it ain't going nowhere. Second braid. See these? Oh, yeah. Ma'am, we are good. We are fine. Oh, excuse me. I think I'm gonna like this. I really think I'm gonna like it. Let me separate it a little bit more. Yes, ma'am. Girl. What you doing? Okay, stop it. So this hair here, there it is. What I'm gonna do another braid, and then I'm gonna take this, brush it backward. That's my crochet. Wow, I didn't bring it in. Go through here, grab it with a crochet and pull it through. So I'll show you when that time comes. Yeah, aye. Okay. All right, so now I have this side done, right? So I'm gonna take my crochet. What I'm gonna do is take a little bit of hair at a time, right there. I hope you can see it. Go through here, grab it, and pull it through. And then take the end of it, go through this other braid, grab it, and pull it through. So you see I got this to go in. It's not braided though. I'm gonna do another section, same thing. Go through the braid. I go under the braid, I should say. Hook the hair in here, pull it through. Go under the next braid. Oh, where are we? Okay. Under the next braid, hook the hair on it. I'm sorry I can't show it much better for you guys. And pull it through. That's the next section, you see that? I'm gonna do 2 more sections like that. Or maybe just one, I think this is just one section really. So I go through this first braid, hook the hair on it, pull it through. I go through the next braid, put the hair on it, and pull it through. Okay, now, with all that being said, I left a little bit of it out. Hold on. Hold on, I'm coming. Hold on, I'm coming. All right, I think that's enough. So that's how I'm doing that. It's not braided in, just use a crochet to pull it through. Now, it looks a hot mess at the edge. How am I going to deal with that? Well, let me tell you what I'm going to do. My next braid is going to be slightly diagonal like this. Okay, guys? For two reasons. The first reason is if I do it straight here like this, again, I'm pulling from the edge. I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to save my edges. So I'm going to make it diagonal. I got definitely more hair here than I have over there to braid with, right? So I'm going to make it diagonal. So I'm going to do it this way. And let me see the thickness of the braid, and then I'll kind of straighten it out as I go back. Because I'm looking in my mirror here, guys, because I can't see in the viewfinder here. I can't see what I'm doing. So that's how I'm going to do that. Right? Let me hold this down. And y'all know the thing with doing our braids, this side is shorter in width than here. So what I do when I'm doing these crochets, as I'm going back, I widen my braid. So the braids here are not going to be as narrow, but I'm going to put more hair in them so they're fuller. So the gaps in the lines, you know, won't show, because I have to make it wider. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare when I'm trying to take it out with 5,000 braids, you know, so small because the space is so wide. So I'm going to make it wider and go straight back like that. Here we go. Over here, I will pay more attention to the parting because I might part my hair there with the crochet situation. So I definitely have to pay attention to my part. I can't wing it like I did on the other side, right? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay, so you see how it's slanted a little bit this way and then it's going that way. So what that's going to do for me, other than not pulling my edges straight back and taking my hair out, is that when I put the braids in, they're going to cover the hideousness, but not cover my face. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? I mean, all right. Okay, we're still at it. Now I am seeing, I actually love this a lot. I feel like it's going to look really nice when it's all done. So on this side, I did the same thing. I have the hair out, as you can see, and I'll pull it through later on here. I'm still struggling with the beginning part, and I know in the video that the young lady did, she said the same thing. She's like, it may seem a little complicated for a while, but you're gonna get it if you keep trying. So I'm just listening. I don't give up. Oh, God. Okay, so even just figuring out how to place it. Guys, this makes it so much easier. I know it's kind of disgusting putting it in your mouth, but listen, that's what works. as you can see now, when I put it in, oh, look at that falling over, just so gorgeous, so gorgeous. Do you see it? When I feed the braid in, I feel free to pull it a little bit if I feel like I'm putting too much in the braid. So I'm getting better. Okay, right back in the mount. The challenge here is putting it in the mouth. As I get further back, because I'm doing a short hairstyle, it's harder to get the pieces, you know, the ones in the back in my mouth. But in the back, I don't care. You know, that's the back. Is the front that I feel like needs to look better. So the back I'm not as concerned about. But I feel free again to just pull it a little bit, you know, if I need to. And I keep on going. So because of that, the ones at the back ended up looking a little shorter. And so even after I was done with the braid, I had to go in and pull some of them. And some of them came through a little bit. Like when I pulled it, you'd see that it came forward some, but not, it didn't come out of the entire braid, which is great. So I was happy about that because I was going to be like, wait, listen, I don't have time for this. So I think that's a trick now that I have learned. And I think as you do it yourself, you're going to figure out different things that'll work for you, right? Because just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. I'm just saying. And here we go. And I pull it a little bit. I can't see the length of it, but again, do it again. But that's a tip that I learned, the trick that I learned that I wanted to share with you. And now I'm going to do this slanted again so I can get some of the hair here, as now that I know that this place is quite thin. It's not bald yet like the rest of the hair. I mean at the edges, right? It's not bald like the rest of the hair at the edges. However, it is definitely thin enough where I have to be careful now and not be, you know, pulling it for no reason. So that's some of the stuff that I realized. I'm like, oh. And I know why that happened. I did some crochet braids where it looked fabulous for my 50th birthday. It looked really good, but I lost a lot of edges. I lost quite a bit of edges from that hairstyle. I'm like, okay, let's not do it again. You know, so lessons learned. So it's coming together. It's coming together. So I'm gonna do this, finish the rest of it, and then I'll crochet in wherever I feel like I need to crochet in pieces, and then I'll show you the finished look. Oh God.